And I remember thinking, like, I have one life. Am I doing the things that I actually want to be doing? Am I spending time with the people I want to spend time with? Is this still my assignment? The business that I was in at that time. And here's what's important. It wasn't that I couldn't keep building it like that. I could. I was capable, but it just started feeling very inauthentic. The things that used to light me up weren't lighting me up anymore. Welcome to the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast, where you will learn simple solutions to win at work without losing at home. Hi, my name is Martine Williams, and I'm your host and CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer. And this podcast is your one-stop shop to creating a burnout-proof life and business by elevating your clarity, confidence, and courage. Friends, it's time to say goodbye to being the yes girl, to procrastinating on your goals and living in overwhelm. And it's time to say hello to creating healthy boundaries, healthy mindsets, and healthy habits so that you can achieve work-life harmony. Your next breakthrough starts here. This is the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast. Let's do this. Y'all, 300 episodes. Today we're celebrating 300 episodes. That's 300 conversations, 300 times hitting record. Maybe a couple of more than that from mess ups and the bloopers and all of those things, but 300 opportunities to show up here behind the mic. And when I really sit with that number, I don't feel hype. Like I just feel so much gratitude because 300 episodes isn't about being good at podcasting. It's about consistency. It's about discipline. It's about showing up on the days that I really didn't feel like showing up, on the weeks where life was heavy, which has been a lot this past year, in seasons where I was growing behind the scenes. I started this podcast as a way to serve. I wanted to encourage women. I wanted to speak longer than a caption would allow on social media. I wanted to reach beyond my zip code, beyond my team, beyond all the internets out there. And I was confident in my mission. I knew why I wanted to start the podcast and what I wanted to say. But I was nervous about the execution. I didn't know who would listen. I didn't know if I could sustain the schedule. I didn't know if I could carry it long term to 300 episodes. And before I go any further, I have to honor someone. I have to honor Chris, my podcast editor. She has been with me since day one. When I was nervous, when episodes weren't perfect, when I didn't know if anybody was going to be listening. And she has been steady. She's been consistent and faithful behind the scenes, especially over this last year where I was having a hard time keeping my groove because of just life circumstances. She's been patient and flexible and a good reminder, like, hey, we don't have an episode in for this week. And sometimes it was like the day before the episode was going to be released. So she's been absolutely amazing. So Chris, I just want to thank you so much for your support and for the ways that you have helped me keep my mission alive and keep coming back to the podcast. I could not have done it without you. So again, thank you so, so much. And if you're someone who's listening and you're wanting to launch a podcast or you have a podcast and you're doing all the behind the scenes tech and you need someone to support you, Chris is amazing. And I know her information will be in the show notes. So this podcast started out as a microphone, but honestly, it became a mirror. Like specifically, probably in the last year, it has become a mirror. And what I thought I was building, something for you, what I didn't realize is that it would also shape me. Every episode refined my thinking, every conversation exposed where I was still growing. Every week of showing up built something in me. And when I recorded episode 1, I was not the woman I am today, 100%. What I thought success meant when I hit record on episode number 1, I was still deep in the building. I was still deep in the performance loop that I talk about here on the podcast. I was still deep in the proving and performing and the perfecting. So success was measurable. It was like really all about the measurements, the title, the income, the rank, the downloads, the shares, the growth. They were numbers to track, they were benchmarks to hit. Success meant growth. And if I'm honest, it meant growth at almost any cost. It meant more responsibility. It meant more output, more producing, more caring. And it meant being the strong one, the dependable one, the one who didn't drop the ball, the one who could rally the team, think positively, pivot quickly, and keep going. And it looked impressive on the outside. I mean, if you looked at me at that time, you would have said she has it all. She's very successful. And I was, but it was a stressed success because internally it was heavy. Stressed success costs us all something. It does. So for me, I think the number one cost was my emotional space. I didn't make time to process hard seasons. I just performed my way through them. I avoided them. Pick yourself up by your big girl panties and deal with it was kind of my motto, honestly. And I know that I said those same things to many people that I was in leadership with at that time. I had this belief that if I slowed down long enough to feel what I was really feeling in the moment, that it would take me out. So I didn't slow down. I changed my thinking, I picked myself back up, and I handled it. But I didn't feel it. And over time, that cost you. Like when you don't allow yourself to feel the emotions you don't want to feel, like for me, anger and sadness, I've said this on the podcast before, are the hardest ones for me to feel, or were the hardest ones for me to feel. But what I realized is that it was actually numbing joy. It was dampening my joy. It was dampening those really powerful, positive emotions too. So I didn't allow myself to feel fully in either direction. I was just kind of neutral. And over time, that cost us, right? It cost me. It cost me presence in certain seasons with my boys, like fully enjoying the moment. It cost me playfulness. I went from listening to music that I loved in the mornings. Y'all know I love my 80s and 90s music, which is why the initial title of this podcast was the Mompreneur Life Remixed, because I love remixes. I love music. But I went from doing that to feeling every quiet moment with business podcasts and leadership audiobooks. And like, if it wasn't making me a better human, I wasn't doing it. And so even my downtime had a productivity agenda. And somewhere in that rhythm, I started losing parts of myself that weren't tied to performance. So there was a season where I was building fast and furiously. And I remember looking in the mirror thinking, I don't fully recognize her. Not because I was failing, but because I had become so serious, y'all. Like so serious, so driven, so responsible. I was many things to many people, and I was very little to myself. That was the first whisper. Then COVID hit, and I was in bed for 15 days, like very sick. And I remember just really doing some deep reflection because I didn't have a choice. I was down and out. I was literally on my back pretty much for 15 days. And when you're forced to stop like that, you can't outwork your thoughts. You can't outwork what your soul and your body is telling you is next or is out of alignment. And I remember thinking, like, I have one life. Am I doing the things that I actually want to be doing? Am I spending time with the people I want to spend time with? Is this still my assignment? The business that I was in at that time. And here's what's important. It wasn't that I couldn't keep building it like that. I could. I was capable, but it just started feeling very inauthentic. The things that used to light me up weren't lighting me up anymore. And I realized something that I now teach very clearly, that you can be successful and still be out of alignment. It can look really good on the outside and on paper, and you still feel off. Something's off. And I fought that realization for almost 2 years because I just, in my mind, I couldn't make sense of leaving it. I couldn't make sense of leaving all of that success behind to create something new. Because walking away from something that works, something you built, something that you're good at, that's not easy. But alignment eventually became non-negotiable because I didn't just want growth. I wanted integrity. Like I just felt like I was out of integrity of the leader that my team needed me to be at 31. I just didn't feel like I could be her for them anymore. I could fake it, But that wasn't fair to them. They deserved a leader who was all in and that wanted to be in that position. And I just didn't. And so launching the podcast was kind of like me kind of testing, not testing the waters, but it was like it was my short term, like not solution, but shift to okay, in that 2 years when I was wrestling with, I really feeling like God was calling me out, but I was also wrestling with him about it. And, this doesn't make any sense. And I can't believe this. So my podcast was like, okay, the podcast will be a way for me to really tap into my desire. What I really want to be doing is encouraging and inspiring and teaching and training women and moms who are entrepreneurs and that they don't have to burn themselves out to be successful. They don't have to sacrifice at home for work, right? For their ambition. They can have both. They don't have to sacrifice one dream for the other. And so the podcast really was kind of my steps into that. And I also launched a course. I think the course came first, but like these were all my ways of trying to feed the desire that was really there in my soul to start a coaching business and to speak more and to shift into a new phase of purpose. Quick pause. If you've been listening and you're ready to stop performing your life and start leading it, if you know you're ready to feel better now, not later, and you're ready for support that actually creates sustainable transformation, I have private one-on-one coaching spots open. And inside this coaching, in Illuminate You Coaching, we don't guess. We use your unique personality blueprint built from the science-backed personality and performance tool called the ProScan, the one you've heard me talk about here in the podcast. This is used so that every decision, every boundary, every shift is designed specifically around your wiring, not someone else's. This is my aligned success method. It's not hacks. It's not try harder. It's not mindset glitter. It's a real solution. It's rooted in science, strategy, and your unique design. So you can lead your life as the woman you actually are, not the woman others expect you to be. Now is the time. Take the step. Book your clarity call at martinewilliams.com/clarity. All right, back to the episode. So success stopped being about performance when I finally made the decision and I made that shift. And if you've been with me from the very first episode, you know that episode that I came out with, it was like, we didn't see this coming. I did not see that coming. And when I finally did see it for what it was, I honestly didn't think that I would have the courage to make that shift. But success stopped being about performance and started being more about alignment. Alignment with my capacity. We talk about that here on the podcast. Alignment with my energy, alignment with my strengths. It was when I was introduced to the ProScan for the first time, right before I retired from 31. Alignment with my faith, alignment with my assignment. So I stopped asking myself, can I keep building this? And started asking, should I be building this? Is this really where my heart's desire is? And is this really where God wants me? And that shifted everything because it wasn't capability or ability or skill set. It was about alignment. So what aligned success feels like now, it feels intentional, very intentional. It feels energizing versus draining. It feels focused. And it does still feel strategic, but it's not frantic in strategy. And the biggest shift, and this has really come this year, is I'm building more from desire than just discipline. Because look, I was on the performance loop for a really long time. I built from discipline for a really long time, and that's not a bad thing. But it did disrupt my nervous system. It did put me in that stressed success cycle and in that performance loop. So discipline, I have built a lot in my life from discipline, but the desire is what is bringing the life back. The desire, building from desire, is bringing that like just connection and like really purpose back to what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So even now, I'm still figuring out some of those things. Like I'm just learning to tune in a little bit more to that desire because again, I know I'm a hard worker. I know I have skill sets. I know I'm highly capable of doing business however I want to do it. But to sit back and actually ask, what do I desire right now? Desire does not get rid of hard work and it doesn't get rid of discipline. It's just now your discipline has something really to tether to that's really important. So now I ask, what kind of business do I actually want to have right now? And that has shifted, y'all. Like even right now, as I think about things that I'm going to do this year, I'm moving a lot of my business offline. I'm going to be doing in-person mini retreats or retreats. I'm looking to go on tour of some sort and go to cities and states around. Like I want to be in rooms with women in person. And I really think that I'm not the only one that is really desiring that. So the kind of business I actually want to have right now looks different from a lot of the people in my peer group. But some of them or a lot of them have kids that are younger. And so I didn't want to travel and speak, which I'm also planning to do more of. So if you know someone who's looking for a speaker for women's events or a guest on a podcast or an Instagram, like whatever, like I just want to be out with women, business builders, entrepreneurs, and really impact them in person. It doesn't mean I'm not going to still be on social media, but I will tell you. And it doesn't mean that I won't still do like online webinars. And of course, I'm still coaching my clients from all across the country. So I'm doing that behind the computer. But there's nothing like being aligned with my number one superpower is people. And so tapping into the desire and like, this is the business that I want to build. I want to be with people and I want to be in the rooms with them. And I want to be able to put the ProScan experience in the hands of every female entrepreneur, every woman in business, every woman really. But I work with a lot of women that are in businesses so they can build a life and a business that is aligned. So, what kind of business do I actually want to have right now is the question that I keep answering. Not what I can build, not what I should build, not what are other people building, not any of that. It's what aligns with who I am in this season. And you'll probably remember maybe, but I took about 9 months off of social media a couple years ago. And what I realized in that break, it was only supposed to be like a 30-day break, but it just felt so amazing. And it put my brain back into the desire of creating moments where I could truly engage with women. I did way more webinars that year. I did way more getting out from behind my computer, and that felt really amazing. So that was kind of the start of this desire and what do I desire. And, I filled my coaching practice 9 months off of social media. So you don't have to be on social media all the time to build a successful business, to build an aligned business. And sometimes getting off of it allows your brain to be creative in so many other ways. I even think about like all the grief that I've been through over the last year and how that even put my brain into spaces of desire. When you're faced with that, like the reality of the brevity of life, it really does make you think, am I doing what I really want to do with the one life that I have? And I know that's getting kind of deep, but it's true. It felt the same way when I had COVID. And I honestly didn't know which way it was going to go. I mean, I was very sick. And it just, you can't have those experiences and not reflect on your life. And am I doing what I really want to be doing? How I want to be doing it. And so the thought and the desires of the things that I want to do this year just really light me up right now. And in my brain, I'm trying to keep it off the how because I don't have all the hows figured out. But I know this, I know that I know that I know this is the direction that I want to go in my business. And that feels really, really good because it's honoring and aligning with my desire. It's aligning with what energizes me. It aligns me with what I do best, what my strengths are. So it's aligned success is not smaller success unless you want it to be. It's integrated and it feels sustainable. Like when I think about what I really want to create in 2026, it feels very sustainable. It feels very exciting. It feels very connected. It feels very purposeful. There's a bigger word than purposeful, but it just like I can just like impactful. I really can see how many women I can impact by doing what I want to do in 2026. So, what 300 episodes built when I look at these 300 episodes is I don't think about the numbers first. I think about what it built in me. It built discipline, it built courage. Coming out here and sharing as raw as I have in the last year is I mean, I try to be very real on the podcast, but letting you in onto some of my emotion was a whole new ball game for me. So it built courage in me. It built conviction in me. I'm more convicted in my message and what I really want to do and leave legacy on this earth with the women that I work with. I refine my voice. It's not louder, but it's clear. It's clear. If you've been here since episode one, you've seen the brand evolve and you've seen me get really, really a lot more clear. It deepened my faith. It strengthened my calling. And what's fascinating is that my purpose hasn't changed. The vehicle has. I was telling a client about this the other day, and even I spoke at a book club, and maybe I shared this on another episode. So if I did, you can fast forward past this part. I can't remember. But, I worked in cardiac rehab for 7 years as an exercise physiologist, and that was what I went to college to do. And I remember like what I was doing when I think back to purpose, what I was doing at that time. I was coaching, I was educating, I was encouraging, I was empowering. And then when I shifted out of that career for 7 years into 31, and I was there for 16 years, I was doing a lot of the same things. I was leading, I was coaching, I was educating, I was training, I was empowering, inspiring, all of those things. And now when I look at my coaching and my podcast, I'm doing the same thing. So it brings me back. It's like the same thread. It brings me back to Jade Simmons. And there's a whole episode that Jade and I did together. She's amazing. She has a book called Purpose, the Remix. And when she shared with me her definition of purpose on that podcast, it just, I can't tell you how profoundly it hit me. But she says that purpose is not the thing that you do, it's what happens in others when you do what you do. So all the things that I do naturally that God's gifted me to do, I did it in cardiac rehab, I did it in 31, I'm doing it now in my coaching and my podcast, and I'm doing it in my speaking. It just changes vehicles, right? My purpose has stayed steady here on the podcast, but the platforms have evolved, right? Like again, it was cardiac rehab and 31 podcast, like all of those things, the vehicles have changed. But my purpose has stayed the same because your purpose goes with you everywhere because it's what's in you. It's what happens in others when you do what you do with your strengths. Hey friend, let's talk. It's time to book your clarity call. We are going to spend 1 full hour focused on you. A clarity call isn't about pressure. It's about possibilities. It's about you. You having a space to talk through what's on your heart and mind, you walking away with a clear vision and practical next steps, and you feeling confident in what's next and how to get there. You don't need to have it all figured out. That's my job. All you need to do is show up and we'll figure it out together. This is the best hour you can invest in yourself right now. Not in 6 months from now, not next month, right now. And don't just take my word for it. Here's what one of my coaching clients had to say after working together.
Martine is probably the most versatile coach out there. She meets you where you are, whether it's personal or professional challenges, mindset, ideas, brainstorming, or digging into business analytics. She's so relatable and accepting that I truly believe she could help almost anyone.
That transformation, it starts with one conversation. It's time to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress. So head right now to martinewilliams.com or in the show notes and grab your private clarity call spot on my calendar before they're gone. And since I personally monitor my inbox, if you don't see a time slot that fits your calendar, just send me an email at martinewilliams.com with 3 times that do work, and I will make it work for you. All right, friend, let's get back to the show. And that's why the next 300 episodes matter, because I've realized I'm not just helping women build businesses, I'm helping form soul-aligned entrepreneurs. A soul-aligned entrepreneur builds a business that reflects who she is. She leads from identity, not insecurity. She protects her energy like it's an asset. She makes decisions from peace, not pressure. She wins at work without losing at home. That's the woman that I have become and still becoming. And that's the woman that I'm forming in my coaching, in my speaking, on the podcast. Life alignment matters. because burnout isn't usually a time problem. Everyone thinks it's because of all the things they have on their to-do list, but I'm telling you, from the years of experience that I've had with working with women, coaching with women, it's an alignment problem. Overwhelm isn't a capacity issue for most people, it's a clarity issue. It's a capability, meeting the overwhelm every single time with the thoughts of capability and possibility. And success that feels heavy, it's usually misaligned. Now, that's not to negate hard seasons in business. It's not to negate hard work. Like, I don't want you to think that soul aligned entrepreneurs don't work. We work, but we work with purpose. We work with our strengths. We work with our identity. We work with our habits. We work with our faith and our goals. Those are in alignment. So there's no friction. Alignment reduces the friction, and friction causes high achieving women to be exhausted because there's so much resistance and there's so much friction. And it's like your mind is going one way, one direction, and your body is going another. And if you have not felt, you have felt it before. I know you have, you just didn't know what to do with it. Well, your brain is like, go and do, and your body's like, but I need a break, or I need some rest, or your brain's telling you, go do this business or this style of business or do it this way. And your body's like, oh, I'm not connected to that. I'm not understanding I don't have that desire there. So it's learning to align those two things together. But there are still going to be hard seasons. But can we make it less hard by being aligned? 100%. Can we make it more joyful? 100%. Can we make it less frustrating and less confronting? Yes. If you're willing to be honest and if you're willing to ask the question, what is it that I want? What kind of business do I want? What kind of life do I want? What kind of marriage do I want? What makes me come alive? You've heard me use that quote before, but Howard Thurman says, don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, because what the world needs is for you to come alive. And if you're in stressed success, in the performance loop, you're just surviving. You're not fully alive. If you're not in tune with your body and your emotions, you're not fully alive. You're probably more neutral or numb. So, this is what I want the next 300 episodes to be about. I want it to represent identity, sustainable ambition, emotional resilience and capacity, courage to try new things, to do new things. And I will go first. I'm never going to ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do or haven't already done myself. Connection to yourself, connection to your calling, connection to others. I'm proud of the 300 episodes. Like, that's the first word when I realized we were at 300 episodes. I'm just proud. I'm really proud because it's not been easy. Putting out 2 episodes a week is not easy, which is why most podcasts don't make it. But I'm so thankful and so grateful for the women who have fed this community. Every Turquoise Talk interview that has come on here has fed you, has fed this community, has fed my mission. And I'm so grateful for all of those women that I would never have met had I not started this podcast. And I'm humbled that I still have a mic and I still have a message, and it's shifted over time. But here's what I know now: you don't become your next level by adding more. That's what the culture wants you to think. Add more, do more, be more. But it's about aligning deeper. So if you've been listening quietly, if you've built success, but you really feel that friction, if you know you're ready to kind of lead differently, this is your moment. This is your podcast to listen to. 300 episodes later. Super proud. I am. I'm super proud. I'm grateful. I'm humbled. I'm humbled that you still listen to the show. I'm humbled that I still get people sharing the show. And I'm humbled that people still will send me a message and say, oh my gosh, that spoke directly to me. I'm just amazed by that. And I believe the future belongs to women who choose alignment first. I do. This is why you heard me share this on a previous episode. The women are leading men in starting businesses because they're understanding, or they're starting to like really question alignment. Is this corporate executive job or this demanding job? Is it really what I want? Is it in alignment with like the freedom and flexibility I want with my family? And so like women are choosing it. They're choosing that over the hustle. They're choosing that over the title and all of the things that are promised by our culture. But they're also at a high rate closing their doors. And it's not because of skill, it's not because of drive, it's not because of motivation, it's because of personal reasons. Learning how to align their business and their dreams and their passions alongside their family. And that's what this is all about. This is what I want to help women do the most because it is possible. I've created it for myself and I help so many other women create it for them. So I know it's possible. The future really does belong to soul aligned entrepreneurs. So I hope you're with me and you're here with me for the next 300 episodes. Thank you to all of you who've supported the show and me from the very beginning. And if this is your first episode, welcome. We're in a really fun place, and I cannot wait to see what we create together in the podcast or on the podcast and in this community over the next 300 episodes. So, with so much gratitude and so much humility, thank you again for supporting the show. And if any of this resonated with you when I'm talking about aligned success or the soul aligned entrepreneur, I would love for you just to either come to Instagram at Martine31Williams and just say hi and tell me what resonated with you. You can also get on my Monday Glow Up email. I send a Monday Glow Up email every week. You can go to martinewilliams.com and get on that. It's a great way to start your week. And I always offer a free clarity call because I know myself when I'm listening to a podcast or I'm listening to a book on audio, like, I wish I could just talk to this person and tell them what's going on in my head after I listen to this. So you can go to martinewilliams.com/clarity. You can book your clarity call. And I look forward to connecting with you here on the show, on social media, on a clarity call, or in your inbox. So thank you for celebrating this milestone moment with me, and I will catch you on our next episode. Well, that's a wrap, friends. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I really hope it met you right where you are and gave you some encouragement for your day. Could you do me the biggest favor and leave me a rating and review? Seriously, it's the best way for you to support the show. And while you're there, be sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Thanks again. And until next time, I am believing in you always.